Today is all about Charles Alade. We spoke about his ministry, we spoke about his advertising agency, and of course we spoke about his project, family and background. He told us about how he was able to feed himself right in the same room with 6 other people, including his mentees. He also spoke about the fate of urban stations in Ibadan. We are not forgetting also the discussion we had with him as he speaks about his beautiful family. What else can this man not do? Managing family, ministry, advertising agency, being a media mogul, and of course, the voice behind so many projects that we hear both on TV and on radio. Join us as we have this conversation with Charles Alade. So let's start with the early beginning. Coming to your Ibadan, the grand entrance into Ibadan for you. You came in with just a shirt, a bag, and a pair of trousers. Considering your background, your father as a retired banker and a clergyman, and your mother as a retired teacher, what changed coming to Ibadan with barely nothing while you have quite an average background? What changed?
Thank you very much for that question. It's an amazing question. To be honest, at that time, I mean, we're talking 2008 now, because 4 of us gained admission about the same time, and my mom had retired 2006,
Wow.
2 years earlier. So, and she just like, God will go with you.
Really?
Because she managed to even gather the tuition at that time, and there was no place for accommodation. Yeah, I remember I stayed with an uncle at Molete Challenge area, Outer Ring Road, and because I had to come from there to class every morning. So when they said this can't continue, so I picked my bag, left the house, and came to class that day. We had just finished lecture. Everybody was going back to their homes, and I needed to also go home, but no home to go to. So I saw this guy in my class, and I went to him. I said, "Oh, my name is Charles. I play drums. I remember you also play the keyboard. Can I stay with you for the night? I don't have a place to stay." And said, "Okay, let's go."
For the night?
Yes, but that one night, became almost a year because I also brought other people who were squatting with me. A squatter was squatting,
Wow.
But if I look back today, I'm grateful to God because in this same city, we have helped others who are also in that kind of situation.
So, in my research, I got to know that during this period also, while you were schooling, you were able to open a barber shop,
Yes.
a game center,
Yes.
and also
A recording studio.
a music production studio.
Yeah.
How were you able to do all of these when you had barely nothing?
Awesome. So between 2008 and 11, something changed, and that's my mom got a gratuity.
Oh, wow.
So we've been praying about it. Those days to get your pension or gratuity after you're done serving is you have to go pray, like fasting and prayer. So we've been praying about this particular gratuity that looked like what will change our life. And indeed, it changed our life. So mom just called me one day and said, Ebi, that's what she calls me then. Ebenezer, if you call me that name, you must have known me at least 15 years back.
What we just know is Ebi Boss.
Ebi Boss, but that Ebenezer, I stopped using it after my secondary school. So she called me and said, they have paid the money, come home. So I just, whatever I was doing, but I, ran back to Lagos and she divided it amongst all our 4 children. I can never forget. She gave me, I think she gave me about 200,000 thereabouts.
Being the last born?
Yeah, what my brother also got was about the same thing. We are 4 of us. So maybe if anybody get extra, maybe extra 50,000. But it was almost the same. Like, this is me dividing my inheritance for you guys. You take your own, whatever you can do with this, with your life. I wish you all the best. So I got that money. My uncle in Abuja also called, what are you doing in Ibadan? That was during my industrial training. And I'd just been exposed to radio for the first time, 2011. So I started loving the idea of voiceover. So when the money came, I had option to buy DJ equipment. Somebody suggested I can be a DJ. In fact, I'd gone to the market to go and price the mixer. Controller, I said, this DJ thing will not fit me. I don't know music like that, to be playing music. Then it means that I want to go to some kind of place that does not really align with my values. So I said, let me not be a DJ. So I said, let me be a music producer. I sing. I play the drums. I'm studying music. It just makes sense to go in that route. So I remember the money I took to Lagos to buy equipment that my mom gave me, everything was exhausted on that day. I did not get one shirt from that money. And have I made the right decision like this? Because even 1 year after I bought those equipment, I could not use them. So what I do is I just dust it every morning, play music, and sleep. I think I've made the wrong decision by buying studio equipment. Maybe I should have bought a cricket and be selling clothes or do some other things. But here we are today. The voiceover thing has taken me everywhere.
The voiceover thing, we are still coming there.
Okay.
Still in the beginning. Now, you mentioned you stayed with people. You brought in, as a squatter, you brought in
I was training. About 8 of us were in one room.
Oh.
At Orisun Hall of Residence, Polytechnic
Ibadan, South Campus.
Yes, room 25B.
Wow.
Block C.
The accuracy. So, staying in the room with about 8 other guys, I also got to know that 2 of them were like your mentees. You stayed in the room with people who looked up to you as someone, as probably a tutor at that period. How was the feeling like?
Okay, that's a beautiful question too. So, the experience of hostel was different from the one of my mentee. Because after I stayed in hostel, I was in the hostel 2008, 2009, 2010. 2011 was when I now got a place outside of campus, and I now had these 2 guys with me who were staying with me. One was a fantastic drummer, the other was a very big musician in this country today.
Oh, wow.
He has a popular song that everybody knows. If I begin to sing it, they stayed in my house, and it was difficult for me to start, feeding a grown-up man. You wear my clothes, my food, everything. At the point I got tired. I said, this is too early for me. I'm just in the tertiary institution. I'm already fathering people. So at a point I wanted to give up. I spoke to my mentor at that time. I said, don't worry. God has placed you in this position for a reason. Just keep doing it. And today everybody is fine. They are big boys, and I'm also doing well. But it was difficult. Because if I had 100 naira on me, I'll be thinking of how all of us will share it. Yeah,
definitely. I saw your post. I came across your post where you mentioned that you're trying to help yourself, and you're helping. You're not strong yet. You're trying to get help. You're also helping others. So both of you will remain
on one spot. It was difficult for me, but that narrative, a friend of ours spoke to me and said, Charles, you are trying to do what you don't have the capacity for. That you're not even up there yet. You are climbing up and then you're holding others. That all of you will fall down. I felt bad. For 2 years, I wasn't really relating with him well. But I understand later, because after then, I stopped that style. So I said, the best way to impact people is to become better yourself. You can't want to help somebody when you have not helped yourself. You need to become an example they want to follow. There's something we call the law of respect. People naturally follow those they perceive to be stronger than them. So if you're trying to help somebody and you are not there yet, after a while they'll get tired. And say, these guys say they use us, instead of just want to take us package. But if you are up there, naturally they'll be attracted to you. So I started investing in my own life years after then. And the game just changed.
So moving away to let's talking about the game change. In 2013, you got your first million naira.
Yes.
While doing prompts for MTN.
Yes.
Was this the change you needed at that time, or wasn't it enough to give you the change you needed at that time? Because even after that, you even had to still struggle in the media.
Yes. You are very correct. I mean, you followed my story. So 2013, I was, we had a meeting, MC and comedian in Ibadan.
Okay.
And then we're invited, and everybody introduce yourself. I said, so I'm Charles Alade, I'm a comedian, MC, and I have a recording studio. And that's why I tell people, wherever you are, learn to introduce yourself properly. Learn to introduce yourself with everything you can do. Don't just say, I'm a radio presenter. If you also sell, clothes, mention it. So few months after, one of them just called me and said, where are you? My guy, they want to see you. You're like, who is your guy? Come to Dubai right now. So I started running, and I got there, and they said, we've been pursuing this contract with the MTN Nigeria for our post chronicles. At that time, if you want to listen to jokes, you dial a certain code and then you listen. And then this guy said, we need you to do this for us. We have just 21 days, which is 3 weeks, to deliver 1,500 prompts.
Wow. And
that is to write a comedy, record it, edit it, and upload it.
Wow. And
I said, I can do it. I said, okay, go and write your invoice. How much do you think it was? I mean, at the first I wrote about 11 million plus. They laughed at me and said, you very like money, even we are not making as much. But I was young, I was naive. Now, if they call me, I'm going to charge time 10 of that. Really? But I didn't know better, so I reduced it and I started production. So what I do is I resume studio in the morning on my generator, start producing from 8 to 6 p.m. I go rest for 2 hours, start night from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I was doing that for 3 weeks. And I delivered the first 500 in the first 1 week. How did I do it? I know I have 1.5 to do in 3 weeks. I know I can only do 500 a week. I know weekend is not part of it. So I do 100 each day by doing 50 in the day, 50 in the night to meet up my 100 production per day. It was crazy. I was working like Jacka. What was motivating me was the money. Because I know that if I can work more, I can make more money. And it was so good that, those days, if I see a jacket I see on the road passing by, I'll buy it because I could afford it.
Oh,
yeah, nice. Because I like to dress well. Definitely. And another thing that I think I did was quite funny as a young boy is, when you go to the ATM stand, I don't cover I want you to see the screen, see my amount. If you are making us that, calm down. There's money. But it was good. Yeah. That money I used it to upgrade my studio. So that was a change. I upgraded my studio, but I still needed to do well with broadcasting. So the fact that I had a studio did not stop my radio broadcasting career. In fact, it gave me a leverage because most of my colleagues would then come to my studio to record their voiceovers. And that was how I got interested in voiceovers. So the likes of Collins Tech, GRA, a couple of them would come around, wherever I am, they'll wait. I say, that means there's something I have that these top guys, these big boys are coming to me. So, and that's what I would like to say to everybody watching right now. You see, every industry that you play in, don't remain in the path that everybody is doing. There is a path that everybody will still come back to. So if I was just trying to be one of the finest speakers, I would still need somebody who has a studio. So I went for having a studio. And then even if you're a very beautiful, a prolific speaker, you still need my studio.
A very wise one there. Probably because you were working overnight. Probably that was what brought about your book, Overnight Success. Even though you stated in the book that no success is achieved overnight.
Yes.
Consistent work and the likes. But then we're still coming back to the book. Let's go quickly into your media journey. I know you started with Premier FM. I mean, you changed the airwaves with your music box, the jazz nights, different programs.
This man, where did you hear this? Where did you get all this information from?
I mean, we are looking up to you. I know that you do so much research before you dish out your content. So also, I'm one of your mentees.
That's exciting. I'm impressed.
Thank you so very much. So Premier FM to Kings FM to Star FM down to Solutions. And by the way, I met you first in a church. I was invited by a friend to the church and I saw you speak. I never knew you were in the media. I just loved the way you spoke. You spoke that day and I was like, oh wow, this is a very good speaker. Next, I met you at Solutions FM where I was a freelance presenter.
Yes, I remember.
Program. Yeah, and then you were the assistant head of production.
Yes.
Looking at how someone I saw from afar and now coming to see him very close. And from there, you moved on to being the head of station Royal Roots FM.
Yes.
Looking at these movements, and I knew also at some point that you had to trail in the towel where you had to give up on media and then come back strong again. Looking at this period, you were becoming an household name. Why did you have to give up at some point?
You mean radio, right?
Radio, yes.
Big question. So this is it. I think one of the things I've learned in my life now, I want people to learn, is to know when to quit. A lot of people don't know when to leave the stage.
Hey, you know you when to quit.
Yeah, I know people, motivational speaker will tell you, go for it, don't stop, don't quit. I'm telling you, know when to quit. If you don't know when to leave the stage, no matter how fantastic your performance is, people will boo at you.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you perform the first track, second track, third track. You can't keep us watching you from money tonight. Some other guys are going to come up and take over. Definitely. So leave when the ovation is loud. That's what we teach people. Yes, I was probably one of the youngest. I won't say I was youngest because we say assaultant, but I was probably one of the youngest head of station in Ibadan, southwestern Nigeria, I can even say. So, and we know what we did when we were there, brought a lot of innovation. The radio won about 3 awards under my watch at that time.
I mean, so, you even raised the standards.
Yes, even on MPS rating and all of that, because that's the assignment the owner gave me and said, Charles, this is the number we have. I've heard about you. I know that you can do it. Can you get my station to this? And we did our best. Put up one of the best events in the city. People where I come because I understand how to use off-air venture to market on-air venture. And that was what I brought in. That was different. It's called Blue Ocean Strategy. When you can play to your strengths and not necessarily what everybody's playing. So I left radio not because I can't do it again. First off, radio can't pay my bills. I tell people, the money you will make off on air is off air. If you can't remember anything I said on this broadcast today, The money you will make on air is off air. You can say it every morning. My name is Charles Alade. Good to know that you're there listening to us on this amazing radio station. You can be a sweet talker, and then when you're leaving, there is no money to transport yourself home. Because what's the best that a radio owner can pay you? The best of guys that make money in any media station are not the guys on radio. Go ask the traffic guys, the marketers. Those are the big boys. They're the ones that drive the big cars.
Not those who speak on air.
Yes. So when I saw that, I said, no, this is not what I want to end with. And if you watch my life carefully, as I was resigning, I became an associate member of Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria. So I went into media communications, media marketing communications. And the money I've made from media marketing, I've not made in all my 15 years of doing radio.
Wow.
In 1 year, yes.
I hope this won't sound as discouragement to aspiring OAPs.
Well, it's to let them see beyond the microphone.
Exactly.
So do your thing on radio, but there is more in that radio station beyond your program. That's all. That's what I want to tell people. So I'm hoping that one day I can mentor, guys that are coming and tell them, while you're looking at this, build your brand. You must have a name outside the radio. Because they kick you out. You are nobody. But Charles is not on radio. He's still relevant. Definitely. If radio was what made me, by now you'd have forgotten about me.
Still talking about radio, the way you're able to build the urban station in Ibadan, Royal Root FM. Now, what would you say is the fate of urban stations in Ibadan? Talking about urban stations, we have the likes of Folakemi Mighty, Colin Steke, Ronnie G, Rolake Bello, those who were the voices of urban radio at some time. And now, Demotion and the likes. What do you think is the fate of urban stations in this current age?
Okay, so to be honest with you, we've struggled with it in Ibadan for a while. I mean, if you know radio history, I mean, some of them are shut down and operating again. I think Ibadan people, we have what we want to listen to. That is not to say people don't listen to urban radio station, but I think those who are managing it are not reaching out to brands who can support them, because really what sustains a radio is not the program, it is the marketing, the sales. So the owner is disturbed. Yes, people are listening to you. Oh, great jam, good music, good content, and amazing games, but you're not making money. So, I mean, running on generator, diesel every day, you will get tired. So I think that has affected it. And Ibadan is largely populated by radio listeners whose demography are the not so schooled. The Angbadoyin people.
The radio audience.
Yes.
Angbadoyin,
originally daughter Baba. They can say Angbadoyin for.
I mean, I can understand.
So that demography is the challenge. But I still want to experiment urban radio if I have the chance. If anybody wants to start a radio station, I can tell them, try it again. Let's do it. I have the best team. I have young minds. Listen, my brother. The largest demography right now is the youth from age 18 to 45, thereabout. And that's something to play with. The big brands, that's the people that they are trying to reach out to. So I think we have just not been able to master how to use urban radio well in this city. It will work, but for now, we've not been able to make success out of it.